All right, Dave Asprey, if you could only have a few supplements for the rest of your life, what would they be?
Number one, vitamin DAKE. Vitamin DAKE. You can go to vitamindake.com to get the full ratio of these things, but vitamin D3, vitamin A, vitamin K2, and a small amount of vitamin E. If you have those things, they will tell your body where to put minerals. The second one would be Minerals 101 from that same Vitamin DAKE site. Minerals 101 is basically a blend of the macro minerals that you need. Everyone today is mineral deficient because our plants and our animals are deficient because our soil isn't being treated well. Glyphosate's a part of it. Industrial farming's a part of it. And if you've grown plants in the soil for 100 years, what makes you think those plants have minerals in them? Where are they going to get the minerals? Right? So they're deficient. On top of that, the health foods, whole grains, nuts, seeds, beans, they all contain phytic acid that sucks minerals out of your bones. You need minerals to make testosterone. You need minerals to make electricity in your cells. So the combination of vitamin DAKE and Minerals 101, or a blend of macro minerals, equals now your body can do what it's supposed to do. Otherwise, you're going to exercise. You're going to put in the stimulus to change. The body says, I wanted to change, but I didn't have any zinc, and I didn't have potassium, and I didn't have chromium. I couldn't make the things I was supposed to make. So how about having some low-grade anxiety, which is physical stress, instead of having some adaptation? This is why those are so important. The third I would do would be desiccated grass-fed beef liver, which is one of the first things I gave to my babies when they stopped nursing. And it's something that's been in my handful of supplements most days, but not all, up to the equivalent of 1 ounce of fresh beef. There is a case against eating a large amount of organ meat every day. It raises uric acid very, very meaningfully. So a diet of, 2 pounds of liver a day and 6 balls and 3 pancreases, it's going to raise your uric acid levels to a point that's not really good for you. You take my word for it, or you could listen to my interview with David Perlmutter. Has he been on your show?
No, he hasn't.
You should have him on. Absolute rock star of a doctor.
Right.
And he wrote a book called Drop Acid that talks about uric acid and metabolism and what that's doing for aging and things like that. He has a very strong case on this. So organ meat's good. Too much organ meat, probably not so good.
I put a link down below for Thrive Market. I know this is a relevant pitch for them, but at the same time, it makes sense. Here's a 30% off discount link down below. Thrive Market is an online membership-based grocery store, and it literally is their mission to make healthier food more available for people in areas that cannot get healthier food. They really wanted to make sustainability a real thing and be able to get real good, unprocessed, and even healthier processed food options into people's hands. So that link down below is a 30% off discount link for whatever you choose. You can fill up your grocery cart using that link, 30% off plus a free $60 gift. So 30% off whether you choose some beet chips or whether you choose siete tortilla chips instead of regular corn chips, or if you want jerky snacks or this or that. And a lot of the times it's going to be much, much cheaper than you would find at many grocery stores. So that link is down below. It's in the top line of the description underneath this video. And again, 30% off and a free $60 gift.
And the reason liver is so important, it has some minerals like copper, but more importantly, it has the B vitamins. And it has the correct forms of B vitamins. A lot of people don't know this, but vitamin B6, the form that's used in 99% of supplements and energy drinks, is actually bad for you. And this is a really important thing. It's called pyridoxine or pyridoxine HCl. It is a synthetic form of B6. About 5% of it converts into the form your body can use. The other 95% of synthetic latches onto your B6 receptors and clogs them up for 1,000 days. I don't take supplements with vitamin B6. I take supplements with P5P, the methylated form of vitamin B6. It's very important. So if you're just taking 100 milligrams of pyridoxine, which a lot of people are getting, that is 10 times more than you ought to be getting, and it causes peripheral neuropathy or numbness in your limbs. There are people who have B6 toxicity listening to the show right now and don't know it, and they're drinking an energy drink full of B6. So you got to watch out for that.
Is there a way to clear that faster than 1,000 days?
No. Dang. You don't eat any B6 unless it's P5P. I'm lucky. I have the genetics where I need extra vitamin B6, but I can't take pyridoxine because if I took the levels that my body needs of that, I would have peripheral neuropathy. Oh, wait, I do have peripheral neuropathy that I got many years ago from taking too much B6. So P5P, take my word for it, don't take B6. Or just take liver because it has a full range of vitamin B that is in the form your body can use. The liver is my vitamin B supplement. Next up, glutathione. And I made glutathione famous in biohacking circles on purpose. In the very first articles ever written about biohacking, glutathione was probably one of the first 5 supplements I ever recommended. Glutathione is the primary detoxing molecule in your brain and in your liver. And when you get liver damage, it's because you ran out of the ability to make glutathione. We are exposed to way more toxins in our environment today than Mother Nature ever designed. So your detox system in your liver that uses glutathione is taxed every single day. By taking more glutathione, you can protect yourself from getting sick. You can make your brain work better. You can protect your liver from Tylenol and alcohol if you use things like that. And it can, I believe, extend your life to have higher levels over time.
Interesting. So what about the oral use of glutathione? Is there any issue with the oral use? Is it orally bioavailable?
If you take straight glutathione orally, it will get digested and you won't get the benefits of it. At that point, you might as well just take glycine and up to 250 milligrams of vitamin C, and you'll make your own glutathione, maybe some N-acetylcysteine on top of that. So that's how you do it orally. Or you can take it orally just fine. It has to be liposomal. There are companies that make dry liposomes. I launched the first dry liposome when I was formulating at Bulletproof, which I'm not there anymore. I don't know if they make that product or not. But dry liposomes work. The stuff that you put under your tongue that tastes like sulfur definitely works. It just tastes like sulfur. And there are 2 other forms of glutathione that you can take orally that have evidence of working. So yes, it works orally. It also works really, really well intravenously. But I would just say something that is designed to be orally available should bypass the digestion step just fine.
Any downsides to taking it frequently? Is it something you should only take when you feel run down? Something you should only take if you're hungover? What's sort of the for the regular person, regular Joe off the street? Is there sort of a protocol they may want to follow with that?
I would skip 1 day a week. Just, you don't want your body to always get adapted to having it. You might, and this is all theoretical, you might downregulate your own production of glutathione.
Which is unlikely because it's just aminos and
it's unlikely. Yeah. But it's really important that you keep your levels up. And things like exercise and eating a good diet and all, they can help.
Also can deplete it.
They can indeed, right? And some of the things that we think are healthy aren't healthy and can deplete glutathione, like over-exercising or a plant-based diet.
So with what about supplementing NAC on top of glutathione? Is there any evidence to support that could enhance the uptake of it or enhance the utilization or production of it?
You know, I've seen a few people talk about taking higher doses of NAC, sometimes NAC with glycine, to get some specific longevity effects. This is manufacturing of glutathione inside the cells versus outside the cells. I've also seen a lot of problems from people getting too much sulfur from doing it that way, depending on your genetics. I've experimented with both, and generally I don't like taking NAC if I'm taking glutathione, but for years I took NAC. So I think it may be an individual genetic difference.
Is there any reason you don't like taking NAC? I kind of play with it on and off and just notice like my recovery tends to be better if I'm doing a lot of aerobic work where I'm putting a lot of stress on my like upper respiratory, where like run the risk of, picking up infections or whatever. But that's the only time I really feel like I get a little bit more recovery out of it. Otherwise, I actually notice sometimes a negative effect. I actually notice like as far as like if I'm in a more resistance training block or more sort of training in that like lactate range where I'm like between LT1 and LT2, I actually feel like I recover worse. But again, that's purely me, right?
It could be you have a problem with sulfur metabolism somewhere, COMT genes or something, or some MTHFR thing. Or it could be that its antioxidant effects are blunting the beneficial effects of the exercise, just like metformin does.
That's true.
I'm not a fan of metformin. I quit using that years ago because of the effect on mitochondria. But there's still people out there, saying, I'm a longevity doctor. By the way, you can't extend human life. You just have to lift all the time, take statins, and get vaccinated, and you can live longer. Like, there's a big book out there right now. I'm like, this is not a longevity doctor. Yeah. Good marketing, though.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so that's 4. What's the big number 5 here?
The big number 5 is one of my favorite supplements. In fact, almost everyone is suffering from a deficiency, and it's called Modafinil. Are you familiar with this supplement?
Yep.
So vitamin modafinil. What is this stuff? It is a prescription drug that was designed for narcolepsy, which is when people fall asleep uncontrollably. Why would you take it? You might not take it every single day. You should have it in your bag when you travel. You should have it in the glove box of your car, because it is far safer as a stimulant, a mental stimulant. In fact, it's one of the most studied and effective smart drugs on the planet for increasing the speed of your typing and your mental focus. You should have it because you won't fall asleep driving. Because when you land and you're jet lagged, you need to get your family to the hotel, or you need to get on stage and do something important, it will turn your brain back on. When you slept in a hotel room full of toxic mold and you wake up feeling hungover and you didn't even drink and you're a zombie, and you take it and you get your brain back, it was a lifesaver. I would not have graduated from Wharton without modafinil. I had mold toxin-induced brain damage, diagnosed by Dr. Daniel Amen. I could not function. And that stuff gave me the mental edge that I needed to just perform like myself. And there's a very low incidence of side effects. About 5 out of 1 million people, similar to Advil, or ibuprofen is the chemical name for that. There's an autoimmune skin condition that can be really, really dangerous that some people can get. And there's actually information online that you can do a genetic test to see if you have those genes before you take it, if you want to try modafinil. So it's something, maybe it's every day, maybe it's not every day. Some people say it's addictive. The evidence is that it's not addictive. And in fact, from deep conversations with a drug and alcohol emergency room doctor, when I mentioned the addictiveness, she actually just laughed and said, I don't see junkies saving that stuff up. So is modafinil something that's allowed in professional sports? No, not in most things, but it should be, because it improves athletics as well. It's also improved my meditation. If I look at my brain waves at 40 Years of Zen, my meditation company, I was finding modafinil works better. So if you wanted to improve your cognition, I think everyone's suffering from a modafinil deficiency. And I say that kind of laughingly because I wrote a blog post about that 12 years ago. And I ended up on ABC Nightline as the only guy who would publicly admit to using it. And everyone else had literally a bag over their head talking about what it did.
What's the mechanism of action there?
We're not sure that we understand all of the mechanisms, which is annoying. It does increase oxygenation, but probably not blood flow in the brain. We know it raises orexin, which is something that happens when you eat protein. Even turmeric, or I should say turmeric extract, can raise orexin a little bit. But orexin's is it a neurotransmitter? We'll call it a neurochemical, just to make sure I don't miscategorize it, that raises alertness, something that comes when you eat. And for whatever reason, you're more focused. There's also a dopamine effect from it, but no, much less than you see from the other dopamine type of drugs. It may be a dopamine sensitizer. We're not quite sure. But however it works, it's a fantastic and interesting pharmaceutical.
Yeah, definitely a message there. No, it's something that you see a lot of military personnel. They use that. It's obviously it's used in lots of different veins. What would you say if you had to give it 3 specific benefits? Like, what would you say the 3 primary benefits are?
Of modafinil? Mm-hmm. It's longer acting than Adderall, and it doesn't make you want to kill people. That's why the military likes it for pilots. If you're flying a $50 million aircraft with a machine gun, you should probably be on modafinil, not Adderall. It stacks exceptionally well with Danger Coffee or any other lesser coffee. So it's not going to interfere with things like that. In fact, they go very, very well for writing. A lot of my writing is done with that. And it increases, or I should say it decreases your reaction time. So it increases your speed. So you're actually faster. You can sense reality. If you ever watch Limitless, the movie, I know that the producer or the camera crew tried modafinil because if you are aware of your state when you take it, the world around you slows down a little bit. You find the first week you take it, like, why is everyone around me so dumb? Right? And then you have to get over yourself and get over your ego there. And it's not that they're dumb. It's that you're faster and they're slower. And then you have to learn how to regulate your speed. So you're capable of going fast, but you don't want to be going fast all the time because that would be like you're on Adderall and it doesn't feel good. Right? So you just suddenly realize it expanded the range of speeds at which your body works. And in Limitless, when he takes it, like everything else slows down for a minute. Like there's a shift in perception of time and a shift in perception of color. Because when you take it, you end up seeing that colors are slightly more saturated. And in Limitless, when people take that fictional drug, there's a green tinge that comes over everything. So you can sort of see they deepen the colors, and it's very subtle, but that's how it works.
So you've had no negative impact on sleep with it, or?
Take it in the morning. I've done it for, let's see. Yeah, it would be 23 years I've used it.
So what's the half-life like? I mean, is it something that's, because you don't see people typically talking about it
there's so many people taking it.
Yeah, it's not typically affecting circadian rhythms. So, I'm sure it would if you were taking it at 7 p.m. But.
Well, it wouldn't necessarily. So they had to make up a new category of drug for it. It's not a stimulant. And you'll see online, it's a dangerous addictive stimulant. Dude, okay, it's as dangerous as Advil. It's not addictive and it's not a stimulant. So maybe some people should do their science research. It's called arousal promoting, which means you can take it and go to sleep. You just don't want to. But if you were to drink a cup of coffee, you can't go to sleep. Right? So there's a subtle difference there. Yeah. Right. So like, why would I go to sleep? Because I have all these ideas coming in. Like, I just need to write this. I need to get this down. I've got to do this. Got to get this done. So it's just fantastic for that kind of a thing. And I'm sure there's someone out there who would find a way to take it for 3 days and stay awake. That would be stupid.
Take one today?
I take one almost every day.
Take one before this interview?
I took one.
Do 2 a day?
I took one this morning, 50 milligrams or thereabouts. Broke one in half, so 50, 60, whatever. Yeah. I took it around 8 a.m. and that's all I've had. And probably won't need another one. This is my last interview, so this is what, 5? Number 5? Yeah.
Sloppy fifths over here.
Well, you got 4 and 5, so there you go.
Okay, cool. Dave, where can everyone find you, and tell us where we can find your book as well?
Go to daveasprey.com. Just redid the website to make 3,000 posts about these topics, really easy to find. There's 1,200 hours of my podcast all organized, arranged for you. We're building the AI bot out right now. Go there and go to The Human Upgrade, which is my podcast.
Beautiful. Dave, thanks, my man.
You got it.